Aquarimax here, and it's time for a live stream. Welcome to Wednesday. Well, let's see who's in the house. Mr. E. Finn, son, was in here for a second. Looks like he had to go. But here we are. We've got some isopods here. We're going to do all my Armadillidium, or at least get pretty close to looking at all the Armadillidiums that I have, checking some things out here. Zebras, of course, Armadillidium maculatum is a nice species. Let's see if I can get some of these guys in the shot here. Limited by my camera angle, but got a lot of nice zebras here. Oh, it's hey Reed, CJ Saul, hello. Wow, it's pretty late where you are, so I'm glad you're able to join us. Oh, don't want to crush anybody there. I'm going to set that down a little bit more carefully. There. And Gemma, nice to see that you made a live stream. Things get busy, and I totally understand that, but I'm glad to see you here. And I know that you saw on my Instagram account the tadpoles starting to develop in the eggs. Cody, Dryden Conway, hello. Yep, zebras are one of my favorites, Finn, of the Armadillidium. They may not be my absolute favorite. It's hard to choose, but they're definitely up there. Kingdom of Animals. Hello, Multi Geeks. Hey, welcome. Nice to see you here. And Beetle King, you're actually not late. I started a little early, so you're good to go. And Fit. This is the first stream I've joined that didn't end instantly. Yeah, I think I may have done an accidental start and stop of the stream this time. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think it's working out now. Thoropod's, hello and welcome. Supreme Gecko, good evening and welcome. And CJ Saul, yeah, we'll do the giant orange sometime soon. And that's awesome, Gemma. Showed your whole family eggs, trying to convince them to let me have a few. Well, if we can get the, I don't know if I'll get all the tadpoles from this batch or not. You never quite know what's going to happen. Sometimes the females will eat, some of the eggs and whatnot. Every time I have collected a tadpole, I've successfully been able to raise it. But sometimes I've had the tadpoles get eaten before I'm able to collect them. So that does happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Okay. And Slav Pepe is in the house. Oh, I see what you're saying, Thit. Yeah, the end of one. Okay. Reed, jumping spiders. Maybe this stream, maybe not. But if we don't do it this time, we'll do it soon, okay? We'll do the jumping spider sometime soon. So, Matt M, hello. Glad to hear everything is okay with your new geckos. Thank you for letting me know. Things can get tricky, especially with the weather being crazy like it is right now. Not that that was an issue for yours particularly, but the weather in my area has been so nuts with shipping. I'm thinking I might have to slow down on shipping, kind of stop shipping for a little while here, because the other day it was down, the high was in the 40s, and then and it was in the 90s, and then it's in the 40s. It's going crazy here. So it's kind of hard. Do I need a heat pack or do I need a cool pack? It's kind of tricky, but kind of crazy. And Ken Malinsky, hello. And Mr. Efin, did you get a Scolopendra polymorpha yet? I haven't gotten another one yet, but I'll tell you what. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to take a herping trip, and I know there are a million Scolopendra polymorpha where I'm going, and I'm planning on collecting at least one. So they're extremely common where they can be collected, and I don't feel bad about collecting a couple since they are not they can be captive bred. They're not widely captive bred yet, but they can be. A lot of things I much prefer to do captive bred, most things, but and if I could get a captive bred Scolopendra polymorph, I would. But anyway, I'm probably going to collect one or more. So, the Kingdom of Animals. Got my zebras a month ago. I saw a few mating when I first got them. I'm expecting babies soon. They're always doing that. There's a mating pair in the shot you can see right now. Can everybody see that? It's up on the top third of the shot. It's kind of a little bit out of focus because I don't know, it's having trouble focusing on that spot right now. But and let's see. Okay, catching up on the chat. I hope they have babies for you soon. Kingdom of Animals. Beetle King has a question. How long does it take for a newer wild colony to start breeding? I have about 40 Armadillidium vulgare wild and 9 Porcellia laevis dairy cow. When should I see progress? Well, I do notice a phenomenon that causes new cultures sometimes take a little while, but not always. And so it can vary. Just to be honest, I've had cultures like my zebras when I first got them. I think I got them in August, and I noticed the first babies in November, so it took a while, right? When I got my orange vigors, I think there were literally babies in the deli cup when I unpacked them. So it could be anywhere from 1 day to several months. If they are breeding size, which for most isopods is approximately 1/3 of their full size, they become sexually mature much younger than their full size. So anytime. Porcellia laevis are especially prolific, but like I said, sometimes I've noticed a phenomenon when you have isopods that they're starting a new colony and they take a while to start, and other times they don't. And I'm not sure what all goes into that, but it is so it's a little strange, but it could be any time. And CJ Saul, how long does it take them to totally eat the leaf litter? It totally depends on the population you have, the species you're working with. I have a hard time keeping my dairy cows in leaf litter, I'll tell you that. Not that I don't have the leaf litter, it's just I have to take it constantly, put it in there. It's crazy. I'm thinking of, starting a big compost bin in the garage or something with nothing but dairy cows in it. They just go through the stuff like it's incredible. Okay, so now we're going to look at a different isopod, and I'll get back to the chat. We're going to check out this orange vigor. Okay, see how these orange vigors are doing. Come back to the chat. I accidentally turned off the normal chats a little bit earlier, and let's see. And good. Glad they're doing well, Matt. So Heather Jensen, Armadillidiums, you're probably your favorite genus, huh? I can totally see that. I love a good Armadillidium species. These are a couple of orange vigors here. This is a fairly small colony. I split my original colony, and I don't know what we got going on in here. There's a good number in here, and they're breeding in here, but not as big as would have been if I hadn't split the colony. So then that's a good shot. We'll let them go for a little while like that as I catch up with the chat. So, greetings Captain Obvious and Cody. I need to get some isopods. I did finally convince my wife about getting a tarantula. Cool. Cool. What kind of isopods are you thinking? And Mr. E. Finn, can you make a video when you do that? Yes. I'll probably make several videos about the trip because it's going to be a few days that I'm going to be on the trip, and definitely going to be herping and looking for critters. When I say herping, I kind of mean it like a lot of people do. I'm looking for reptiles, I'm looking for amphibians, I'm looking for invertebrates of all kinds. So I'm not just limiting myself to reptiles and amphibians. And so yeah, we'll make some videos of that time. For sure. Remote heat cold packs would be great. Oh, like you just push the button on your phone and wherever it is in the world it changes the temperature? Yeah. They have kind of a temperature regulation pack. I think it's called Phase 22. Am I right? Is that the name? I could be getting the name wrong. Something like that. That helps things to stay warm and helps things to stay cool. It kind of mitigates the temperature in whatever, if it's, you can freeze it and then put it in the pack and it will it'll keep the container cool, or you can, if it's not frozen and it starts to get too cold, it will help keep it from getting too cold. It's something like that. And I've used those a little bit, but not very much. So, but a remote one would be awesome. Let's see. And Multigeeks. Zebras are beautiful. Oh, you want some of these? Okay. Let me know. Just email me and we'll get it set up if you like. I think we just need to make sure that shipping weather is going to be okay, and we'll set you up. I can do cold packs. I think probably through the rest of June, if I do cold packs, we'll probably be okay. Once it hits July, I'm not sure. But I think we can make it work. So let me know, Multi Geeks. If you really want some, we can set you up for sure. And Cody, same thing. I've got, I don't know how many hundreds of zebras, so we can make it work. And Supreme Gecko, these roly-polies are rolling around in the sack. Mark, this video is not for kids. True enough. Yep, I probably have enough zebras to set up anybody who contacts me on this live stream. If every one of my subscribers contacted me about zebras, I couldn't handle it. But if everybody in the live stream who wants some, we can probably make it work. And okay, Heather Jensen's Orange Dairy Cow P. Levis experiment. Monkey after 2 months with 1 dairy cow and 7 oranges. Unsure if the dairy cow was already pregnant or not. I'll keep tabs on the babies. Cool. If it was very, very young, the dairy cows seem to be able to reproduce at a really, really small size, but hopefully there's something going on there. We'll see. I hope it works out for you. And Thit says, I had an experience in Isopod ship with babies in the deli cup when I got Cubaris marina. Yeah, it happens. It's pretty common. It's happened to me with Orange Vigor and with, I want to say Giant Canyons and maybe a few other species that's happened to me with. And it's nice. It's a nice little surprise. Okay, let's look at something else here. Sorry about the white background. What do we got here? Oh, these are my Punta Canas. These are new. I haven't had my Punta Canas for a really long time. So they're just starting to get reproducing. And let's see. Just catching up with the chat. Normal for tailless whip scorpions to go crazy when you spray their tank. Yes, it is. Mine starts walking around the tank, drink out the glass and mouse, and he goes on the floor as well. Is it normal? Yes, some of them will freak out and just run around like they're scared to death if you start spraying the tank. See, there's some baby, these are Punta Canas, there's an adult. And for those of you who haven't seen Punta Canas, aren't familiar with them, they're like, they're kind of like a natural, they're a natural morph. They've been discovered in the, Punta Cana is an area on the island of Hispaniola, if I remember correctly. And they come in different colors. The adults are sometimes orange and sometimes, like here's a cool example. They've got this sort of interesting color sheen. You saw one that was just a normal, and then this one is obviously not a normal. It's got this sort of interesting tint to it. And that some are just orange, they're all different colors. And you never know what you're going to get. They're pretty cool. And so I'm enjoying playing around with these guys. A lot of them are hiding right now, I guess. I'm not seeing a ton of them. But like I said, I don't have a lot in here yet. But I do have a few. I just got a starter colony of 10. A pet store about an hour or so away from me that I like to go to when I'm down near it had some. So let's see. Trying to catch up, everybody. I might skip a few as I catch up. Crystals, Pets and Plants, hello and welcome. And Mystery Fin, your male ivory millipede is molting. Cool. Hope it goes well. Well, Ken, I'm sorry about the explicit nature of those isopods conduct. I'll try to keep it a little bit more family friendly from now on. And Barb, welcome. And thank you, Matt. Yes, I am closing on 33. Some people say at 33 I need to do a room tour again because the last time I did one was 15,000 subscribers. So I probably do need to get close to that. And Cody, dairy cows. Yes, got tons of dairy cows. And they are awesome. Definitely one of my favorites. I was herping the other day and I found a huge black rat snake. He was awesome. Definitely cool to handle any snake. Oh, that is awesome. Kingdom of Animals. We don't have black rat snakes where I live. We do have cool snakes. I was herping the other day and found a baby gopher snake. A Great Basin gopher snake, but I've never found a black rat snake in the wild because I don't have them here. So that's awesome. Hello, JK's Exotic Animals. Mutant geckos, hello. So Kingdom Animals, how much do you charge for some zebras? $14 for a starter colony of at least 12. And thank you, JK's Exotic Animals, appreciate that. And Multi Geeks, 90s here, so cold packs are the way to go. Yep, we can do that then. I'll be, I've got some, I guess I need to make some more cold packs. I do make my own with polyacrylamide crystals. but I can make some more. I better get stock up so I can start shipping. I think I have 1 or 2 left in the freezer. Gotta make a new batch. Okay, we'll do that. Mr. Efin, I didn't get a Scolopendra polymorpha, yet I might look where you look. Yeah, if you look in the places we talked about, under rocks, in a place where there's some moisture, either on a hill or near a stream or a wash, something like that. And Supreme Gecko, Wally, I really appreciate that. The like always helps, so I really, really appreciate that. Totally. CJ Saul, after my giant orange colony started breeding, I'm going to venture and get some dairy cows as well. Oh, you should. The dairy cows have got to be definitely one of my favorites, and there are a lot of reasons why that's the case. They're just fantastic in terms of activity levels and how prolific they are and how hungry they are. I mean, eat like little pigs. They're incredible. Okay, so I've got a few more isopods to show you here. What is this? This is Nasotum, I think. I'm going to show you my Nasotum. And I'll take a look at those. Okay, so I'm catching up here. Woo! Sorry, everybody. I got really behind on the chat, didn't I? And Armadillidium vulgare, love your name. Heather Jensen, got an extra feather millipede baby when I ordered those, hoping to get more babies at them, seeing they were all in a pile the other day. Love my Punta Canas, have magic potion in there too. Wow. Nice assortment there. Here are some Nasotum. This is Armadillidium Nasotum Peach. You can see they vary widely in color. There are some that are more peachy, some that are almost orangey, some that are kind of cinnamon, some that are close to the wild type. Pretty varied. They seem to stay quite a bit smaller than most of my other Armadillidiums. They're pretty hardy. I like them. Okay. Catching up. Arathis? Arathizi. Just picked up my first isopods today and load YouTube and this live stream pops up first. Good timing. Awesome. Well, let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer. Captain Obvious. Yes, inverts, very different from gerbils indeed. Armadillidium vulgare, do you like pill bugs or wood lice better? I like them both. I have some favorite pill bugs and some favorite wood lice style or sow bug style that don't roll up. So it's hard to say. It depends on the species. Oh, and this is Gemma's little sister. Okay, cool. Cody, I also have a bunch of mealworm beetles now, which kind of just happened. Yeah, that will happen if you keep the mealworm beetles around. With superworms, it won't happen unless you take a couple of steps to make it happen, but with mealworms, it'll just happen. And theropods, found some A. vulgare that looks super similar to those in eastern Washington. Cool. And mutant geckos. Yes, Hoffman's Zagi are so big. I love Hoffman's Zagi. Oh, Beetle King. Oh, that's awesome. I need to find out about whether or not I could get velvet worms, because I think that would be super cool. And there are some species that are very sensitive to warmer temperatures. You basically need to keep them in a wine cooler in the 60s, like some of the montane species. But I would say, yeah, I need to find out whether I can keep them where I am, because that would be cool. I know that sometimes Peter at Bugs in Cyberspace gets them in occasionally. They're very cool. There are some species that are, more tropical. I would love to try some of those. So that would be really cool. I've known of a couple of people who have had them imported and have been breeding them. They're a little tricky. So it is exciting though. Hey Jordan, nice to see you here. And is cocoa block okay to use to keep it in a little extra humidity? You can use it as a substrate and it will hold some humidity, but sphagnum moss is my go-to to hold the humidity. I think it works better than the cocoa fiber or cocoa block for several reasons. And yeah, that would be my go-to, but you can do it. And let's see. And Cody, oh, sorry to hear that. Hopefully your foot recovers quickly. Got to get some of that herping done while we still have some summer. CE Drawing, hello. And Supreme Gecko. We all know dairy cows are probably Russ's favorite top 3 isopods. Probably top 3. That's fair. Anyone care to guess what one of his least favorite isopods might be? Maybe Russ can take a stab at this later in the program. I'm game. That sounds cool. I'm going to look at my list here. I'm looking across the room at my closet to try to see which are my least favorite isopods. And it's not like I hate any of them, of course. But I do have some that I don't like as much as others. So yeah, I could take a stab at that. I've got some ideas to go with that. Okay. I actually love that question, Wally. I'm not sure even why I love it, but I do. It's a great question. So, and Pup314, can you post a link to organic charcoal? You know, I have some on, if you go to my day-to-day isopod care video, I think it is, I think I have a link to some of that charcoal in that video already. So, and, yeah, and Beetle King, I'm not sure if Peter has any right now, but I know he has had them. Let's see. So, Mystery Friend, your isopods are not eating the fish flakes? That's weird. Huh. That's very strange. Most isopods will go after them, but it does depend on the number of isopods you have in the enclosure and stuff like that. Pac-Man Frog loves anything that ends up pupating into beetles in his tank. Even the superworms, huh? Has he tried the superworms? I'm just curious, because they're supposed to taste awful. So, yeah. Okay, so Barb says powder blues may be for my least favorite. CJ saw what's the best top layer for giant orange? Leaf litter and a moss pile like this, and then some decor like cork bark or other flat bark for giant orange would be my go-to for the top layer. Okay, and Jordan, I did start the wish list. I was looking at a list of isopods on my permit, and I can't pull it up without ruining the live stream, so I can't do it right now. But I was looking at it and kind of mentally checking off what I want to add to my list so that I can write it down. But I took a screenshot of the ones I'm allowed to have. Porcellio expansus is on there. Porcellio ornatus high yellow is on there. Porcellio flavomarginatus is on there. Porcellio bolivari is on there. And that's all I can think of right now. But I'm just trying to limit it to what I can actually have shipped to me legally. So those are all on the list of ones that I can have shipped to me that I don't have. And there are some others too, but there's not a lot on the list, honestly. So I wish there were more, but I hope it'll change. And Heather Jensen's guess for least favorite is magic potions or duckies because they haven't bred well. Oh, that's fair. Grayson Rodriguez, is it okay to feed baby mowers or superworms to morning geckos? If they're really, really small, and especially when they've just molted, you could probably do a few. I wouldn't use them frequently, and I wouldn't use them if they were very large. But if they've just molted and they're quite tiny, then sure, yeah, you can do that to some extent. And is there a good place to buy cork bark? Chain stores seem to be a little ridiculous. They are often ridiculous for cork bark. Some places I like to get it, I've purchased a good amount of cork bark from NE Herpeticulture. They have some good cork bark deals sometimes, and I get them from the Biodude too. And let's see. All right, so least favorite. I'm going to hit this one now because different people have made some guesses. And I'm going to tell you, okay, I actually like Florida Fast a lot. I haven't talked about them yet, but I do like that one a lot. I like, what is this? That was in the wrong place. Okay, I'm gonna change the isopods here. Let's take a look at my high yellows. See how they're doing, because I'm running out of time. I'm just letting them sit there. And okay, let's see if some of my high yellows are going to look like high yellows right now. Just depends on what I turn over, huh? Oh, some of those are looking pretty high yellow. This is my high yellow bin, the one I've been working on for years with limited success. But it's starting to breed true, I think. Okay, back to the chat. I was talking about my least favorite. Okay, my least favorite. I actually love Porcelaonides pruinosus. I like Florida Fast a lot. And I would like duckies in Magic Potions a lot, but I haven't had a lot of success with them. I think my least favorite right now are probably dwarf whites and dwarf striped. And dwarf whites are the Tricorina tomentosa, and dwarf striped are Nigurus cristatus. Not that I hate them, I don't hate them, but they're my least favorite. And the reason why the dwarf whites are one of my least favorites are that they don't have... Okay, because when I ship them, as a condition of my permit, I have to ship them on nothing but damp paper towel. I can't include substrate in there. I can't include moss. Can't include anything like that. Has to be damp paper towel when I ship them. So you can imagine how fun it is for me to dig out nothing but the dwarf white isopods, like 24 of them at once, and put them in a container with just paper towel. It's not fun. I don't like doing it. So that is why they are my least favorite. Nigurus cristatus is my least favorite because, one of my least favorites, because when I got them at first, I mean, they're cool isopods and they work well in a bioactive vivarium. When I first got them, they were thriving and doing super well for me. And then they crashed, and from that point, I haven't gotten them to go back to where they were. They're still, they're doing better than they were for a while, but for some reason, they're just not doing as well as I would like. So, CE drying. In my garter snake bib, I have dwarf whites, giant oranges, and tropical grays. Cool. And Heather, he has had butterworms and mealworms. I'll try superworms at some point. He ate a silkworm moth also. Cool. Smoky oak millipede that was in the dirt for 8 months. Wow. And Thorapods did an experiment with dairy cows and fish flakes for their least favorite. Wow. My dairy cows will eat anything from dried out bug jelly to pinky mice when my snakes are full and don't want to eat, to anything. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that I've fed them that they won't eat. Let's see. So CE drying cork bark off of eBay. That's a good idea. You could probably find it pretty cheap then. There. I'm going to make a plant wish list when I get a channel up and running. Cameras on the way. Awesome. Oh, any that have a rhinovirus? Yes. Can you feed non-organic food to isopods? Yes, you can. Some people do it just fine, especially if you peel it, wash it. That'll help some. But you can be running a risk. But I think, washing it off really well and peeling it can help. And Pup 314, I'm sorry. I thought that video was where it was. I thought that was where the link was, but if it's not, just send me an email, and I promise I'll send you a link to the type of charcoal that I use that's just the 100% natural stuff. Okay, so Reed, I don't actually have centipedes right now. We've had centipedes before, and we had some until recently. We had one that we had for about 4 years, I think, and it was an adult when we got it, and it recently passed away, unfortunately. And okay, and Moultrie Geeks, excellent. I'll look for your email. Thanks for joining in, Cloud 9.5. Thank you. And yes, Wally, I know the dwarf whites are a surprise because they're so useful in bioactive setups, and they are. But yeah, everybody's got one. So Giant Canyons, interesting. That's your least favorite. I wonder why. And Captain Obvious, any information on giant water bugs, toe biter? Well, I've been bitten by one. I've never kept one, but I would be interested in keeping one and doing a best pet invertebrate video on that species at some point. That would be fun. Okay, where do you find your email? Okay, so Pup314. You can either find me Aquarium Pet on Instagram and direct message me there. You can go to the the website, aquariumax.com, and go to the Contact Us and email me directly there. Those are probably the two easiest ways to explain how to email me or message me. And what time do I start these live streams? Typically 5:30 on Wednesdays. 5:30 my time, Mountain US time. And CE drawing, it could be, depends on the size of your colony a lot too, and what their substrate is made out of. If you set up a new colony of isopods, it's going to be a while before they're really all that interested in food, because you have a fairly small number and they are surrounded by food all the time because you just put new substrate in there. And so it might be a few months before they really have a good feeding response. And Heather Jensen, that is a good point. Most stores, I get mine at the grocery store a lot of the time, or the hardware store, the natural lump charcoal, that's what I use. And Moombas, nice to see you here. And, oh, Cody, that's a good point. Sometimes you get extra. "20 species of isopods at the pet store, Beetle King, awesome." Okay, that is very cool. All right, everybody, I'm going to show you a couple more isopods, and then I've got to go, because guess what? Today's the day I get to interview Peter at Bugs in Cyberspace. We're doing a collaboration video, and we're going to do it COVID-19 social distancing style this time. And let's see who's in here. Here are a bunch of Armadillidium klugi. They're doing really well, as you can see. Tons of them in here. And so there you go. I've got to hurry up and go, but I just thought you'd like to see my klugi because they're doing well. And a couple more really quickly. And then I've got to go set up for the interview with Peter. So hopefully the microphone is back connected. I just tried to redo it, so thanks for the heads up there. These are my small colony of puddings, Armadillidium klugi puddings. They're reproducing in here, but it's a fairly small colony, fairly new. But there's, oh, that looks like maybe it's a dead monka. That's crummy. But they've been reproducing for me, doing fairly well. Here's a couple of adults kicking around over here and under the substrate there. Not a ton in here because it's new. And then what's this one? This is probably my favorite Armadillidium species right now. This is the Armadillidium gestroy. They get big and they're reproducing for me, doing well. There are quite a few of them in here. I started out with about 2 dozen tiny little monkey, and they've grown up, and now I've seen babies in here. They're just so gorgeous, and they get so big. Let's see if we can see any babies. These are already, they're not adult size yet, but you can see a few little monkey in there mixed in with the springtails if you look carefully. Very cool. And absolutely gorgeous. And okay, and Moombas, I did have the night golds a little earlier, so you can check that out. And maybe we can talk about the velvetworms, Beetle King. And I'll try to remember to say hi too. And yeah, he's been slammed. He's been really busy, which is great. I think local isopods, a lot of people keep them. They're not in the great demand because everybody can collect them, but a lot of people keep them. Let's see. I love that, Cody. That's awesome. Okay, awesome, Gemma. Thanks for joining in. Springtails, you can usually collect them in leaf litter. And that's a good way. Moist leaf litter, you can almost always find them. And dirt too. Okay, Chevy Fish, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go talk to Peter, and you will see the results of that interview coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, be kind, and I'll see you at the next video on Friday.